What is going on, guys? My name is Wheelman, and today I've got a game review for you of Tomb Raider. Now, Tomb Raider is, of course, the reboot of the age-old series. Rebooted on March 5th of 2013 is the release date, and it came out to very favorable reviews and scores from multiple sources. Metacritic gave it an 86 out of 100, and IGN gave it a 9.1 out of 10, calling it amazing. I, of course, have my own opinions on this game. You, of course, if you've played it or have seen footage of it, probably have your own. You're welcome to leave those in the comments, whether you agree with me or not. Feedback is always appreciated. Moving right into the first element of the game, gameplay mechanics. Now, the gameplay mechanics in Tomb Raider are satisfying most of the time. However, the game is plagued by constant QuickTime events. It almost has what I'd call a God of War syndrome going on, in which QuickTime events are relied upon very heavily at some portions, both during combat and exploration, for the purpose of, for example, grabbing onto a ledge that you nearly miss, or dropping off of a zipline onto another zipline, or falling down a waterfall, things like that. And speaking of falling, one issue that I had with this game, although the gameplay mechanics, as I've said, are most of the time very solid, are that half of the game is this girl falling. Half of Tomb Raider is Lara Croft just falling down stuff. And I thought that was kind of funny. I've been able to look past it to a degree, to an extent, and see the merits of the game, and I do enjoy Tomb Raider, but that's just one complaint that I had, was that they relied really heavily on one specific out, almost, and that's Lara's propensity to fall down nearly everything, from platforms to waterfalls to shot down airplanes, crashed airplanes, to you name it, she can fall down it. So that was just one complaint I had. But onto some of the positive impressions I got from the gameplay mechanics. Combat is engaging and just difficult enough. I thought the combat was very well thought out and well executed. Movement is fluid and satisfying. Exploration of the island is easy. You don't think about clunky movement or anything. You don't really, in my opinion, movement in a game is good when you don't have to think about it, when it just comes naturally. So that's definitely an element in this game. And while there's not particularly free running or parkour, I think that that's good, because if that were an element, it would kind of mess with the plot element of Lara being rather inexperienced as an adventurer or an explorer at this point, because this is, of course, the origin story, when she just starts out as an archaeologist and I believe historian also. So I thought that was a good decision, whether that was a conscious decision or not, to leave parkour and free-running elements like the ones in Mirror's Edge or Assassin's Creed out of the game, and just have her sort of stumble through, but in a control scheme that is well optimized. Moving on to the visuals and audio of the game. Visually, this game is really, really beautiful. It's set on an island full of jungle environments that give the feeling of being very humid and sometimes cold, sometimes hot. There are snowy mountaintops, there are ancient temples that you can go into and out of and explore around, and overall the visuals of the game are really good looking. Audio of the game is fairly average. The musical score and audio of, gunshots and things collapsing and falling and stuff like that is fairly average. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. Nothing to write home about at the same time. I think that the audio is definitely acceptable. It could have been improved on, but could have been a lot worse. So I will absolutely take that. Character design. The characters in Tomb Raider are designed visually very well. Lara is designed to look sort of rugged, but she progresses along that path. The farther you get into the game, the more sort of torn up her clothes get, the more scratched up she gets. Obviously, she becomes dirty, and the other characters as well become less and less shaven. They get sort of a shadow on their face, the male characters, and their clothes become tattered as well. The characters themselves are often fairly predictable, dialogue-wise, and just the way that they comport themselves, the way that they were written. They're often sort of predictable, especially some of the side characters, not so much Lara, although sometimes, but especially some of the side characters who are stuck on this island with you as you play as Lara. However, I think that the characters, in terms of voice acting, are very well acted. All the voice actors that played the characters in Tomb Raider, I think, did a great job and hit the nail right on the head in terms of the characters that they played. So although the writing could definitely be improved upon, the voice acting was good. And finally, the story of the game, probably the most important part, the plot. The plot is really very engaging. It is a fairly original plot. It combines multiple elements of almost archaeological with obviously combat and movement, ziplining and rock climbing, and figuring out puzzles inside of buildings, as well as gunplay, the use of the bow and arrows, which is really satisfying. The fact that the developers decided to give you the option to switch between multiple different attachments or specialties for each weapon or tool that you have. And I thoroughly enjoyed the inclusion of a lot of things in the game, certain elements that were very supernatural. And obviously I'm not going to say anything more about that. You'll have to play the game for yourself or watch a playthrough or walkthrough, something like that, to know what I'm talking about there, just so I don't spoil anything. But that's going to pretty much wrap it up for my review of Tomb Raider. Overall, I am going to give this game a 3.5 out of 5, 3.5 out of 5. Let me know if you guys thought that it deserved something more, something less. If you've played the game, what did you think of the specific elements of it that I talked about? You think I missed anything in the review? Please let me know in the comments section. And other than that, I would like to thank you guys for watching, and have an awesome day.